Guys, welcome to the show. Today we have Melissa Romiza. This is the Blitz Queen of the solar industry. Okay, for those of you who don't know what blitzes are, all you weirdos outside of solar, blitzes are where people go out and make $10,000 to $100,000 in a 2 week span. So Melissa is well known in the industry for running some of the best blitzes, having amazing culture, great leadership retention, great sale retention, and she's an absolute killer. So, Melissa, stoked to have you on this and to be able to share your knowledge with everybody and elaborate. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
So let's jump into this. So, what if you were to try to give the Reader's Digest on how to run a successful blitz? Walk me through the steps.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you want to do it the right way, there's going to be many steps, but it's like you just want to start with your skeleton, right? So it's like, okay, where are we going to go?
Okay.
Why are we going to go there? What makes this market different? What is giving us the edge, right? Like for us, we like to go to markets that need batteries that go out of power. That's our thing. And then it's like, when are we going? Those two things are super important. Where, when.
Okay.
Once you know where you're going and when you're going, you need to have a good idea of how many people you're trying to bring. And you can't just be like, oh, I want as many as possible. Like there needs to be a number. Like for us, it's anywhere between 20 and 50 normally, but for every blitz, like we have a target number that we try to hit, being like, this is the limit. This is what we're going to look for housing. This is what fits. Because if you bring 100 people to the boonies, odds are you're not going to have housing for 100 people, or you're going to be driving your reps 45 minutes from house to house.
Okay.
So you need to make sure you know how many people you want to bring. Once you know where you want to go, when you want to go, and how many people you're trying to bring, then you go into what we call commitment mode. So we're looking to get as many commitments up until 2 weeks prior to a blitz starting. Once that 2 week mark hits before a blitz, we cut off all recruiting, even if we didn't hit our commitment number, because this is where I see a lot of people make mistakes is they recruit people all the way up until the blitz. And what happens is all those people that they bring in 3, 4, 5 days right before the blitz, they don't have their onboarding completed. They don't have the script down. Shit, they might not even have their flight booked. So you're not able to set proper expectations and expect them to perform at the highest level, because they're playing catch up.
Right.
Not just like the couple of days before that, but when they get there, they're still trying to get their onboarding done. They still don't know the script, and they don't even understand how everything works. So for us, when that 2 week hits, when I'm running interviews, I need to set good expectations for all my guys on what's going to happen that Monday, 2 weeks before the blitz starts, which for us, it's like, hey, you're going to start receiving automated text messages that are going to sound something like this. Hey, Nick, you're receiving this text because you have committed to the December 1st to December 17th Mega Blitz with Glide. What to expect next? These are going to be your 3 mandatory training dates that you must be on. X day, X day, X day, from X time to X time. They must be on these training calls because we're going to go through some important stuff, which we're going to go through how the market works. What makes this market so great? What is the solar opportunity, right? We need to get conviction and belief injected into these reps.
Okay.
Number 2, hey, we built out our own private website. It's ours. It's password protected. This is how you're going to use our private website, which has all of the tools that you're going to need. And the reason we built this website and the reason we made it password protected is we know people from other teams are coming just to learn and leave. And we're okay with that. But like, we're only going to give you that information while you're here, and then we're going to lock everything back up with a new password. So on that website, they'll find their script. They'll find how to use the calendar. They'll find how to use the CRM, how to put in a lead, all of the leaders' phone numbers. What's the agenda? We have an agenda from day to day. Hey, this is what time the team meeting is. This is what time you're expected to be on the doors. This is what time your Airbnb will unlock. So it's very, very organized. So they'll have those 3 mandatory trainings. And throughout that, we have automated text messages going out, making sure they know when everything is going to happen. And this all is prior to the blitz even starting, because proper preparation prevents poor performance. So 90% of our work is actually done prior to a blitz happening, making sure we have all their gear ordered, all of that stuff, right? And then when they are getting there, that's when it's game time, right? So the first day of our blitz, we call that our travel day. So we have airport pickup for our guys at 1, 3, 5, and 7 p.m. Each leader commits to a different time slot to pick people up from the airport. And the reason we do this instead of Ubering them or getting them a bus is to make sure they can get a connection with a leader as soon as they touch down.
Nice.
That is so important for retention and keeping these reps, is that connection, that human connection that they're looking for. Because the biggest reason people come on these blitzes is for community. Truly, money's great, but they're looking for something else beyond the money, because there's tons of money-making opportunities out there nowadays. They want to be a part of something, right? Something bigger than themselves. So we have to give them that community feel as fast as possible. And
like
that first day is really just for them to settle into their Airbnbs, go grab their gym memberships, do any shopping that they need to do. Now we do preload our houses with food, just very basic food: ground beef, rice, eggs, bacon, Uncrustables, frozen pizzas, protein drinks, meat sticks, like just the super, super basics. They're going to run through that food in about a week, but it's just to get them up and running.
Okay.
When we get going, because that usually happens on a Monday, Tuesday is like go time. So Tuesday, we get all of our guys together at about 9 or 10 a.m., depending on if, spring forward has happened or not, or daylight savings. And that's our boot camp. So we meet with both all of our setters and closers on that blitz for 1 hour that first morning to go through our competitions for the blitz, expectations, our rules. We have a very strict set of rules to make sure we don't have shitheads on our blitzes that aren't working. They understand what our minimums are. If they're not meeting minimums, we just send them home on a bus, not a flight, but a bus. So we go through
imported. You hit KPIs or your ass is getting exported out of the blitz.
100%. You know what I mean?
Like
And
Trump
I
with the
understand,
immigrants. This is hilarious. I love it. That's great. Keep
I
going.
just think you if you bring people on that aren't hitting the metric and you keep them around, you show everybody what you're willing to put up with.
Kills
And
culture.
that's just not something we're willing to put up with. We pay for your housing, we pay for your food, we're paying for the gear on your back, we're paying for your badges, we're paying for your Solar Scout. The one thing I'm asking you to is hit at least 50 doors a day, get 2 leads a day, have a sit or a sale. If you can't hit one of those metrics, you're going home.
What are your metrics you hold them to again?
50 doors in a day, or a sit, or a sale, or 2 sets. Super simple. I think me and you can both agree, Nick, that that's not me asking for anything crazy.
No, it's not crazy at all.
Yeah, they don't hit that. Sorry. Everybody can control how many doors they hit.
Yep.
50 doors in an 8-9 hour working day is not abnormal.
Yeah, you can do 150. Yeah,
you can. So if you're not giving me one of those metrics a day, I don't want you on my blitz. You are going to drag down the rest of my team. Yep. So I'll send you home. And we've had other weird things happen, which we get into the weird stories later, but that's the biggest thing, is that first hour is just to set expectations. And then we split our groups into closers and setters after that hour. And they go through, even though they've trained the whole week prior, they're going to go through a 2 to 3 hour boot camp where we're going to make sure they know how to get into their emails. They know how to get into their CRM. They know how to set a lead. They're in everything that they need to. And we're going to give them some extra objection training, or for closers, maybe making sure they understand the products that we're selling, so they're a little bit different. They understand the battery specs. They understand what to look for in the garage. They understand what to look for in the panel. They understand our install timelines. They understand. We're going through all of that stuff with them to make sure when we go out, that first day is like a half day. We really don't get in the field till about 2, 3 o'clock. But that's just a day to set ground rules, make sure everybody knows what we're doing there. And everything is super clear from that day forward, what's happening. They know exactly. They get 1 rest day during the blitz, which is the first Sunday, and then they'll get 1 sleep-in day, because our mega blitzes are 17 days, so they're a little bit longer. It's the final push before the end of the year, but on a regular blitz they get 1 day off, and they know exactly when all that time is going to be.
Your normal blitz is 14 days, right?
Technically
10 to 14.
It's 12 working days, because 1 day is a travel day and and then one's a travel day out, and then they have a day off. So even though we book it for 14 days, they're really working 11 to 12 days.
Okay, got it. Cool.
So that's the basics of how everything works. Just a Cliff Notes version of everything. Now I have broken this down. If anyone's come to my door-to-door con talks, or I've helped Zach with MindRx, I've done this training for his guys. I have it broken down to a science, and I could get so in depth about this, because we have, I think the biggest thing is our master sheet. We have a master sheet that has everything from our reps that are coming, their phone numbers, their position, is it their first time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, how many blitzes have they been on with us, what's their shirt size, who recruited them, do they have an emoji for the calendar, do they have turf assigned to them. We have a master sheet that oversees everything, and then we have their housing, we have their car groups, because we have car groups assigned to them. Then we have pods. Every leader has their own pod to make sure those are their people they're responsible for airport, for if they're falling below the radar, if they're not hitting their minimums, they're going to be the one to have the tough conversation with them. So there is a master sheet that we use as well, which is We give it to every group that comes in to work full time with us to build out their blitzes. We're like, hey, if you follow this recipe, you'll be able to run a blitz exactly like us. It's
Nice.
that easy.
I like it. So where do you notice that most blitzes tend to fail versus why your guys are successful? I can tell you're hyper organized, hyper prepared, is very structured, and there's clear expectations. And I run my company the very same way. And so I love hearing this. There's a pattern of success here. Where do you feel like most blitzes go wrong? Give me a couple of the main things you see.
The leaders will put up with shit that they shouldn't. I think that's one of the biggest things I see when they have guys that are working half-ass or not really working at all, or jumping from hood to hood, making their own rules, breaking your rules, and you
So
don't do or
jumping,
say anything
jumping
about it.
hood, not hitting KPIs, not hitting numbers. What else?
Yeah, and it's more so that the leader, right, the leader of that pack, isn't isn't saying anything, right? They're like, oh,
Uh,
I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to rock the boat. And what they don't understand is, since they didn't quote unquote rock the boat, they literally just showed everybody that you'll put up with whatever.
right,
So why would I follow your rules? Why would I show up on time for your meeting? Why would I do any of that? You're not going to send me home. You didn't send home blah blah blah. Like, I'm
right.
not showing up on time to the meeting. I'm coming home early from hood because like I can. And yeah, there's nothing you're going to do about it because I know you're not.
Yeah, one thing I've learned, this is Tony Robbins taught me this, that people rise and fall to your standard. And when you allow lower production, lower activity, or just, like not under like 40 doors a day or let, that's ridiculous. Like when you accept that because you're being the nice guy, you are not being nice. You're not being friendly. You are not helping that person. And you are not helping the rest of the team. And so it's like, if somebody's going to come attack my kids, this is a bold example, but if somebody's going to attack my kids, I'm going to get aggressive. I'm going to defend them. And so it's people need to shift the perspective of being that yes man. I see this all the time in sales, and hold the line. What are your standards? Get crystal clear about those standards, write them down and communicate them. And how else do you help other leaders outside of you when they run blitzes? Hold the line with that.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is, like, I've had groups where like they haven't held the line, and I'm not going to be the one who's like stepping in for them. But what I do afterwards, because I do like a review of them, right? Like, we're going to have a one-on-one of like all the good things that happened, and we're going to talk about the bad and the ugly things that need to change. Because when I have other leaders too, I'm helping them recruit, like I'm bringing people in. But if they are not willing to hold up to the standards I have set, I will no longer be recruiting for them. They
Nice.
will not take any of my guys because I will not let my guys be exposed to that kind of behavior.
So what are those behaviors?
So
Where are you usually noticing where they fall short? But outside of
yeah,
this, so you
it's
mentioned KPIs and numbers and being too nice. What else?
yeah, I mean, if the leader isn't willing to be the example, like, I understand that being busy and being productive are two different things.
Yeah,
Are you doing the most productive thing at every given moment? Because you could be doing pipeline work, you could be doing X, Y, and Z. If you're not out there supporting and helping the guys, just like I need to help and support my leaders, it's probably not a good fit. Like,
yeah,
everybody wants to sit back and make an override, but if you don't bring value to the
yeah.
table, if there's no value exchange for that override that you're taking, you don't deserve to lead a
How do
team.
you clearly
And I think
articulate that
that's
values? That shadow X amount of times, X amount of calls. That like, how do you get crystal clear on that?
I think that's a moving target per group. Like, I
Okay,
can't be like, hey, you need to have for people to move up, like, I have a target, but as a leader, I think you really have to look at how your guys are producing, and it's however many times you need to work with that rep to get the production that you want. It's not like, hey, two shadows and they're good, because everybody has a different runway. So that's the biggest thing. It's like, how much are you willing to invest? Because for me, if I have a guy that is going to give me everything he has, blood, sweat, and tears, 150 doors a day, but he is struggling to set leads, I might go shadow that guy 4 times over my really talented rep who knocks 6 doors, sets 4 leads, and goes home. I'm
right.
probably not going to spend much time with that kid because I'm getting effort. And effort is the one thing in this industry where it's like,
Yes,
yes, you want efficiency, right? But like, at the end of the day, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't
it
work
does.
hard.
It does. Yeah.
And I believe that. So like, I might go work with that guy 4, 5, 6 times. It's not like there's a special number. It's how long is it going to take for me to figure out how he learns best or she learns best to get the production that I want. So like, really, that's the biggest thing. So when I look at leaders, there's 3 things that I look at in order for you to be a leader in my organization. One, how good of a recruiter are you? Because I don't believe that everyone should rely on Indeed or these apps or AI to recruit for you. You need to be able to go out, tap on shoulders, make phone calls, get on social media, because if that stuff goes away or you go broke or whatever, you need to be the lifeblood of the business, and that's recruiting.
Yep.
So I'm gonna look at your recruiting skills. 2, sales. How good are you at selling? How fast can you teach someone to sell? Because not always are the best salespeople the best leaders, because the
Right.
most important one is duplication. Is how fast can you put somebody in your position and duplicate yourself so you can move up to that next level? Because everybody's like, well, I've already hit 20 sales and I've already hit 30 sales and I've done this, but you haven't recruited anybody and you
Yeah.
have yet to train somebody to do exactly what you're doing. And
Yep.
until I see those 3 skills come out of a leader, I believe you have to master 2, because other leaders will complement others. I have some leaders that are great recruiters and they are great trainers, but they might not sell the most,
Right.
right? But fantastic recruiter, they can constantly pump new blood into the business, and they will spend the time with the reps, whereas like your top sales rep might not have time to spend time with the reps, but they're good at that, and they're good at duplicating people because they'll come in and shadow them all the time.
Yeah.
So it's figuring out who can complement who.
That's good.
I'd say that like my leadership group, like not one of them is the same. They're all different and they're all unique, and it's making sure they have the right seat on the bus. Like every single one
Yep.
of my leaders has a different seat. Kayla's my closer leader, and then Abby's like her number 2, and then Cass and Luke are my setter leaders, who deal with my setters. And then I have Alex, who helps with just like systems, right? Like, are we using the right calendar? Are we systemizing everything the best that we could? Like, how can we become more efficient? So it's like figuring all of those things out, because if I put Luke into Kayla's position and Kayla into Luke's position, we got the wrong people on the bus. The boat's not going to move faster.
Yep.
And everything you should ask yourself is it going to make the boat move faster? Is
I
it going to
like
make the
it.
boat move faster?
I like it. And then, do you have like a setter captain and a close, like what are the key positions you have out on the blitz? Like closer
Yes.
leader, setter
So
leader. Is every closer a
yes,
leader?
there's a closer leader, there's a number 1, and that's Kayla, and then she has a number 2 who's Abby.
Okay.
Like right now we're on a mega blitz, so we have so many reps that there's even like a number 3. So right now Kayla's number 1, Misha's number 2, Abby's number 3. So Kayla's the one who kind of leads those closer managers. She takes care to make sure they're doing everything that all of our closers need. And then from my setter side, I have Cass, who's kind of the number 1. I would say Luke and Phil right now are kind of the number 2s. And she makes sure that we have everything that we need. And then Jacob is kind of a number 3. He usually leads his own group, but he likes to work with the setters. And then we have Alex, who helps us with like all the systems in between setting and closing. Like I said, calendars. There needs to be like somewhere that closes the gap, that builds the divide. And she's the one who's like helping us find new systems, new processes, how to speed everything up.
Yeah, that's
But
good.
she'll work on either side that we need her on. So it's like, what side needs more help? I can put her on either side. And she's kind of like the floating manager. And every group has a different, I think they run things differently. Like on a mega blitz, I have a shitload of leaders. On my regular blitzes, there's always a closer manager, there's always a setter manager, and then there's somebody overseeing the both of them.
Okay. Okay, got it. So what do you call that person? Is that just like the
What
regional
it
or
would,
the office manager or
yeah,
just okay.
yeah, district, regional, whatever you want to call them. I don't really give any of my people titles
Yeah,
because like I don't like entitlement. So none of us
yeah,
necessarily have titles. Everybody's paid the same override. Everybody makes the same amount of money.
right.
No one is more important than the other, because together is like, that's just my belief. That's how I run things. Like I
Yeah,
said, there's other teams that run them differently. Totally fine. What works for us works for us. Might not work for another team, but it's been working for us.
I like that. I like that. Okay. So you have one person overseeing both the closer leader and the setter leader, and that's awesome. Okay, so um, what are some what if you could nail down? Okay, like hey, these are one or two or three things that you cannot miss when it comes to blitzes. So summarizing some of the stuff we've already hit, preparation's massive. Okay. Clear expectations are massive. Leadership and alignment communication is massive. Roles and responsibilities delegated. Outside of those things, what else is critical to the success of a blitz?
I think for us, we meet with our leaders at least every other day, because stuff can change on a blitz, right? Like a tornado can come through your area. You might have to make a hard pivot. There's been 2 or 3 blitzes where we've had like hard pivot move our area. We realized that we were in the way wrong demographic, or the rates were not what we expect them to for the pitch that we already trained every single person on. And I'm not going to give 30 new reps a new script. I'm going to find the area that that script's going to work in
Nice.
at the highest level. So meeting with your leaders often. Also, like, there's multiple houses on a blitz too. You have a leader in every house. It's like, hey, what's going on in your house? How's everything going? Who needs support? Who needs help? Who doesn't have a deal? How can we go get that person a deal? The goal is to bring them back. And they also have a minimum that they need to reach 2 deals in order to be welcomed back. So like, our goal is like, how bad do we want that person back? And if we want that person back bad enough, it's on us to make sure that they have success. It's not just on them.
Nice. I like that 2 deal minimum to be invited back. Why'd you guys do that?
I think it's the biggest thing is like, it allows us to, if we want to make an exception, right? Because like, there's some people that don't hit their 2 deals, that maybe they had 2 credit fails, or, you know, God forbid something happened. I can tell somebody who maybe didn't hit the 2 deals that I don't think is a good fit, hey, this isn't a good fit, or somebody that maybe didn't hit their 2 deals that I do think is a good fit, the timing was just off or their runway wasn't the right way,
Uh-huh.
to welcome them back on. But if somebody can come in new and hit 2 deals, I know they have what it takes.
Yeah, I
But
like
it
that.
also gives us that threshold to be like, this isn't a good fit or it is a good fit. And we can
You
always
hold
make those
standards.
exceptions, right? Like, yeah, like standards are always super black and white, right? Like there can be exceptions, and it's making sure that you have the awareness to like, is this a spot where I make an exception? Like, this guy came in, he worked his freaking ass off, he had 3 freaking credit fails. That was 100% out of his freaking, that was out of his control as a setter. He's
I love
brand
this.
new, you know.
Melissa, let me just highlight a couple of things for the audience, whoever's listening to this. You are exceptionally good at holding your standards. You have your standards, they're crystal clear. You have your expectations, they're crystal clear. And you're not afraid to offend people. I'm sure you're very tactful. You're a nice, friendly person, you know, you're not like ruthless, but I can tell you hold your standards and you're not a people pleaser. This is something that I want the audience to just take note. This is something I've seen in very successful people, and people who don't have success, they usually don't have these things. And so, just a big shout out to you on those 2 things. You're very clear on the standards. You hold to the standards. You're very clear on expectations, and you hold to those. You know, I know it's how tempting it is for a lot of recruiters to, you know, oh, he did 1 account, you know, but he's kind of half-assed, and you know, oh, he's really good though. He sets 1 to 3 people he talks to, and they all sit and they all close. Yeah, but if he's lazy, it's gonna create toxicity within the culture. You can see that. You've seen it long enough. And so, guys,
Mhm.
I should have done this at the intro, but Melissa has she's done 2,100 kilowatts in a 2 week blitz with one of her groups. It was about 30 to 40 reps. Okay, she's also she's she usually gets about a half a megawatt every 2 weeks on these blitzes. She's doing them back to back to back, and she's always going for usually has a PRA of close to 2, right?
Mhm.
Which is incredible. I mean, so these stats just speak to the efficiency of the machine that you've got people in, and just hearing you talk and just how dialed it is. You know, you're not even pulling up notes; it's just off the this is off the top of your head. This is incredible. I'm very impressed. What are some of the other blind spots that we might not have covered that people miss? Like if you're going mentoring someone that is trying to take their blitz to a new level, or maybe somebody that's doing a blitz well, Melissa, but there's like, okay, this is the next level. Like if you were to audit some guy, talk to him, and he's doing like 300, 400 kilowatts on a blitz, same size as you, like where are you going to try to target first? Where are you going to look at to see how he can improve?
there's there's so many different things. I think the first thing I would ask is, are they open to feedback, and are they currently getting active feedback, not
Okay.
just from the people that are coming on their blitz, but from their leadership team. So like
Okay.
at the end of every single one of our blitzes, all of our guys fill out a feedback form, all the way from housing to training to everything. Hey, what was your feedback? How can we be better? Then I go ask my leaders. I give them every responsibility we had that blitz. I want you to rate every responsibility on how you felt it was done. How can we get better? How can we close these gaps? You know, because it's usually small adjustments that need to be made. Like for us, it was our onboarding. Our onboarding was shit. We were just, sending out our onboarding to our reps. We sent them a step-by-step guide with a voice memo. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, this is what you need to do. Instead of doing an onboarding meeting, we're like, dude, an onboarding
Yes.
meeting
Onboarding meeting,
will
hand
squash,
holding. Yeah.
yeah, it'll squash this,
Yes.
so I really think like a lot of leaders are scared of feedback because they don't want to be told they're doing something wrong,
100%.
and it hurts their ego. And
Yep.
like, yeah, feedback sometimes hurts. Like I read feedback and people are like, oh, more bathrooms, or you should have bought us more bread. And I'm like, you guys are wimps. Like, what do you mean? I'm not your mommy, I'm your manager. But like,
Yeah.
so
You know, it's
I do think
interesting.
active feedback is one.
I've noticed this pattern with like the hyper successful entrepreneurs I've studied are obsessively seeking feedback. They're seeking failure because they see the failure as opportunity. They don't see it as it's the setback is a setup. It's not like they're having to get in this positive mindset. It's they literally see failure as fantastic. This is a area of improvement. That means, hey, we're already doing good, but now we can do even better. And so that's how people need to think is it's not, oh, we're doing good, we're doing great. It's like, how can we improve? It's just have that like as a core value of how you run your life, how you run your business, and how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so that's why people who are big in self-development, my audience, and improving their sales game, improving their business, improving their leadership ability, it stems over to a lot of areas of your life. And so you're talking on extreme ownership, having the humility, taking accountability, but also seeking to be better. And so I love that. What else?
Yeah,
Those
I
surveys
would
are
say
fantastic. The feedback is fantastic. Sorry, keep
yeah,
going.
the standards that they set for their reps. What's the standard?
Mm,
What, like, what do you expect from them? And then where are you falling short?
okay.
Okay. And like, let's look at how well you, like I just talked about, how well are you holding the line
Yeah.
as a leader? Like, I feel like that's one of the toughest things, is like to hold the line and know when to hold it,
Right.
and sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it's one of your best buddies on the blitz and they're not the ones holding, and and it's like, it's their turn to go home. And you're like, damn, this hurts. I do not want to send you home, but I got to. Like, oh man, why did it have to be you? But you're the one to set an example. I've seen it. I've had my
Yeah.
brother who was running an office for me in Massachusetts. He sent me his guys out one time, and I had one dude he got drunk on a blitz, which it was his night off, but he came home late, so he broke curfew, because we do have a curfew for our guys. And then he no showed the meeting, and
Mm,
he woke up the next morning, and I was waiting in the living room, and I was booking his ticket, and he was like, he looked like he wanted to cry, and I was like, dude, this really hurts, because you're my brother's guy, and I want my brother to succeed, but I got to send you home. And it set an example for all the guys that I was willing to send home my brother's guy,
wow.
because he broke the rules.
And everyone else is
So
like,
it's
oh
like, what's your,
shit, they're not joking around here. We better step up.
yeah. He came back to every blitz, and he told everybody he was allergic to alcohol after that. He came, because we let him back in the future, and he told everyone he was allergic to alcohol. He's
That's
like, I can't,
smart.
I'm allergic,
That's
you
awesome.
know?
Okay, I'm curious to transition a little bit here. You're very good at building culture. I want to hear like what are some of the things that specific activities that you do, like one or two things maybe. Just one or two things that you're like, oh, like it wouldn't be the same without this.
Competition.
Okay, tell me. We all know competition is good in sales, but like, what do you take pride in specific with how you run competitions?
So for those of you that don't know who I am, I spent a lot of time competing like across the nation for sales, specifically in solar, and I won a lot of Knockstar competitions, and not just to like prove to everyone else of how good I was, but it was to learn how to structure the right competitions to bring the best out in reps and like really get the most juice out of the squeeze.
Mm,
Because when you can get somebody motivated, like there's always more that can be done.
yeah,
So like I'm always spending so much time like, how do I put together the best incentive, but also how do I incentivize the behaviors that I want to see? And
right.
that's why our retention is so low. Is like my closers get points for gifting their customer 48 hours after the sale. They get points for getting reviews. They lose
Mm,
points for cancels. They lose points for dirty deals. My closers will lose points if they're not in the CRM within a certain amount of time. My setters can lose points if their set wasn't put in the CRM before the closer closed it. The setters can get points for being the first lead of the day, the last lead of the day, for getting the biggest system on the day, because kilowatts matter, and we use Solar Scout. They're going to get points for same day sales. Those are going to be more than a regular sale. They'll get points for sales, and I'll set something up to incentivize the behaviors that I want to see. And then what I'll do is I will like make team captains. They'll create their own name. They will snake draft their team. And then like they all have their own group chats, but everyone's shit talking each other like the whole
okay.
time. And I think that's the first thing, which is like competition. But the second one is like also like, it's kind of on the softer side, but it's like doing the little things, especially when you have a lot of girls on your team. Like the little things go a long way. Like making the guys dinner, like a homemade good cooked dinner one
Mm,
night for hitting their leads, right? It's like, hey, we're gonna cook you guys all a nice steak dinner tonight. We're gonna have family dinner tonight. Everyone's gonna come over to the main house, and we're just gonna spend time and play werewolf together. And
nice.
like spending that time, and it's authentic, it's real. Like
Yeah,
I tell everybody, I'm gonna tell you it's good no matter what. I work for the company, but when you get in the room, my guys are gonna feel it.
yeah.
It's gonna feel different. Like we really care about each other. Like genuinely, we really care about each other's families, each other's well-being, and just showing up for each other. Like we're going to show up for each other when it's hard. We're going to show up for each other outside of work. And those are the people we're trying to keep in our organization. You can come on a
I
blitz, but I don't
like
know if
it.
we're going to keep you. You know, how you treat each other and how you treat us at the house and outside of work tells us if we're going to keep you,
I like that.
you know?
Hey, so let me break this down. Do you have these competitions amongst these pods and these like the pod leaders and their setters in that group, and have each one competing against each other for some bigger prize, or how do you do that?
No, so I choose the pods. It's just based on like the amount of people we have, like how new they are. Like the newest people will go with our setter managers. Like
Okay.
the people that have been around a little bit more will stay with our closer
Okay.
managers.
Yeah. So it's
When
not
it
fair
comes
by
to,
pods then. So how do you split it?
yeah, and the leaders run the pods, right? When it comes to competition, it changes every blitz. So like last blitz, the leaders were the captains, but like this blitz, it's like our top six setters from last blitz. Our top six setters are the captains this
So they do
time.
a draft.
So they're,
They pick the reps.
yep.
I
And they'll
like
choose a
it. It's
number
like a
between one. Yeah,
dodgeball.
they'll Yeah, so I'll text the number to Cass between 1 and 1,000, and she'll hold on to it. And then every person will give me their number between 1 and 1,000. And from first to last, it will tell if they choose first or last. And it's snake draft. So kind of like how you play Catan or whatever. But
Yeah.
then they snake draft their teams and they get to choose. And this time, the one thing that they don't know is every team will be allowed. Like, this is a brand new hack. Hopefully, this doesn't go up before my Mega Blitz, but they'll all be allowed to make one trade halfway through. Halfway through the blitz, we'll let them do one trade, and somebody on their team, yeah, and their captain could screw somebody, right? They could trade them to like a really shitty team, and
Oh, I
But the
like
thing
that.
is,
Like, hey, bro, if you're gonna be a
yeah,
puss, you're getting the boot.
yeah. If you're gonna be the weak link, we're gonna
We're not
trade.
gonna carry
We're
your
gonna do a
ass.
trade.
I like it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And the top 5 points wise will always get to earn the incentive as well, because regardless of what team they are on, they'll always get to go with the first place team on whatever the first place won.
Nice. Okay. So the top performers, the top what percent? The top five. You said the top
Uh,
five.
top 5.
That's
Uh-huh.
brilliant. So even if they're on a poor performing group, they can still win something. So the top five and
Correct.
then the top team. And what kinds of things have you noticed usually incentivize people the most, from shoes and items or trips, or like what's your go-to?
I think experiences. Like
I love that.
experiences are
Me too.
huge. So like last blitz, we put something out for like the most amount of points. Like, hey, the rep with the most amount of points with a minimum of 25 points, we're gonna put them on a private jet to door con.
Let's go.
And
Yeah.
that was like our, you know what I mean? People are like, a private jet, what? Like, that's
Yeah.
crazy. And then like the top place team, we're taking them out to like Steamboat, Colorado, Hot Springs, and snowmobiling. Second place team, we got them sweatsuits from head to toe. And then third place team, they got massages. Fourth, fifth, and sixth place got nothing.
Nice. Okay, cool. So the 50% of the teams that you reward the top half of the teams. That's amazing. I love that. What are some other like your favorite incentive trips you guys have done, like experiences you've created? And I love that you prioritize that. Like I'm the same way. I think a lot of life is relationships in and out of business, and a great part of relationships in life is just creating experiences together. And so um I love that. But what are some of the best experiences you've had?
So we just got back from Mexico last week. So we brought our team to Mexico, which was super fun. But I think my favorite one, like even though Mexico was cool, is I put out a trip to Cape Cod, which is where I'm from. So like one, I know I can give everybody like just such an amazing experience on the Cape because it's where I grew up.
Uh-huh.
And it also like allowed my team to see like how I was raised and where I was raised. And it created this extra layer of loyalty, I feel like, and connection of being like, hey, this is my mom, this is my sister, this
That's
is my other
cool.
sister, this is my nieces and my
Yeah.
nephews. This is where I was raised. These are the people I take care of, and they take care of me. And since you guys are my family, you're their family too. So like, I want you guys to meet them. And I brought them on like some really cool experiences. Boats, beaches, Martha's Vineyard. We went all over the place, and we made the most of it. And I brought them fishing. They went fishing. They got to eat their food for dinner,
Oh,
which
it's
was
so
really cool.
good.
And I taught them how to cook it, and they got to see a part of what makes me me. But also like letting them know that like I have a family at home, but they are my family away from home. So it was really cool to make that connection.
That's so good. I love
Um,
that, Melissa.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Hey, I want to change gears as we wrap here. This has been incredible. What is something that is a mindset hack for you? What's something on the topic of mindset that you're deeply passionate about, that you've seen help you get to the next level of performance in sales and leadership, everything?
It's a great question. Um, I think the biggest thing is I'm very impulsive and quick to make decisions. That's
Um,
something that, and you kind of said it on this podcast, but when it feels like everything's on fire and like there's all this room for improvement, like that's actually a beautiful place to be,
yeah.
because it means you're growing.
Yes.
And if everything's going right and going perfect, the
You're
growth
not
has
growing.
stopped.
Yep.
Yeah, you're
Exactly.
not growing anymore.
Yep.
And I think that's been the biggest thing, is like when it feels like all hell is breaking loose and where do I go? What's next? I don't know if I'm doing this right. Like that's a beautiful place to be, because it means we're growing and we're learning. And as soon as like you let that comfort take over, like you've stopped your growth.
You stop. So you have this perspective, just like I do with this, like no matter what we're going through, like if it's bad, it's this is actually fantastic. This is where
Yep.
all the growth happens. Yeah, yeah, I love that. I've always told people, Melissa, you can't lose with that mentality. You can't lose because, if you're winning, great, you're winning. If you're losing, you're winning because you're getting better. And if the focus is on growth, aka becoming better, you'll never lose. Failure is inevitable. It's impossible. So I love that. That's amazing. Any where can people find you on social media?
Just my first and last name, Melissa Romiza, Melissa TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
You've got some
You
great
DM
content on
me.
there. You've got
Yeah, I
great
answer.
stuff.
I answer every message.
That is awesome. I love that. Well, thank you again, Melissa, for the time. This has been incredible. Lots of value for the audience. Any last words before we wrap it?
No, I hope everybody's ending the year how they said they would back in January. So we
Let's
got about a
go.
month left.
Amen. Let's execute. Let's go, guys. Thank you again, Melissa. We appreciate you.
Of course.